going on, everybody? Welcome to the Drive-By YouTube channel. It's pretty self-explanatory. I am driving and I'm just going through my thoughts one by one. My name is Adam. Very nice to meet you all. At the moment, I know that there's a lot of background noise, so I ask you to be patient. But essentially, some of the topics I wanted to bring up today revolved around men, and especially what it means to be a man within today's world. Obviously, you have the red pill guys, Andrew Tate, and all the rest of them from there are saying, you know, to be a man in today's world, you have to be highly successful, you have to be highly dominant, you have to be highly wealthy in order to present yourself as being a man, or rather, the best possible version of you is what a man should be. And when we look at it from a broader perspective, that's not entirely wrong, and in fact it's got a lot of correctness to it. However, that being said, that same movement also tells men not to show too much emotion, not to become feminine at all, not to bear others with your burdens, and essentially, to some extent, this argument is not altogether correct, because as we all know, I think even us stereotypical type men would say, look, you know, passing of a loved one, shed a tear or cry, not a big deal. Birth of your child, shed a tear or cry, not a big deal. But outside of these, maybe a very, very, very emotional movie that caught you by surprise and you shed a modicum of a teary wet drop from your eyeball might be acceptable. But apart from that, everything else is basically, you're a man, you have to make sure that you are number one in the room, you are making all the money that you can, and don't show any emotion. Typically speaking, yeah, that's probably what it would be for most guys. The problem is with this is it doesn't take into account the extracurricular activities that men, in my opinion, should do in order to help immerse themselves with other guys. What I mean by that is join a sporting club. Martial arts is very good. Sports is also very good in general, football or soccer, or any sports really, even if it's water polo. It's very good to be in a team, be part of a camaraderie, be part of, you know, something that could be labeled as a brotherhood, I guess. Something that helps you share victories, but also share defeat, because it sucks to lose, and it hurts to lose more when you know someone on your team could have done better to win, right? And I think when young men experience that feeling, it pumps them up to do better the next time, right? Because a sense of responsibility is now endowed on the person who was lazy and who let the team down for them to do better. And a sense of responsibility is put on the rest of the team to make sure they're double checking everybody else's weaknesses, right? Not calling them out, not to bully or harass them, but to make sure that, hey bro, keep it up, let's go, right? This time is our time. We're gonna do it together. This sense of brotherhood, this sense of teamwork, team building, I think this is necessary in young men, especially young men, especially those who don't have a father in their life or a male role model in their life, someone who they don't have anybody to look up to, people coming from single parent homes, single mother homes, really. It's necessary for boys and young men to be with other young men in a team, right? Because not only does, here we go, look at this. Not only does it improve them in a teamwork bonding experience, it also improves them on a self-improvement level, right? On the individual level, it improves all people, because what happens is competition builds rivalries, and normally rivalries build empowerment within other people to want to do better. Not in the sense that I'm going to outdo this person because this person is lower than me, but because this person can do it, there's no reason I can't do it too. And I think that's a really, really good mindset to have. And in my opinion, martial arts gyms, good martial arts gyms are the best way to get that done, right? It instills discipline and it instills a desire to want to improve, right? As a human being, as a person, as a young man, right? And of course, as a martial artist. Sometimes this can obviously lead to a backfiring of the idea. People grow egos. People think that they're better than other people. Some people are naturally talented within an area or a sport, so they grow complacent or they grow too bold, which comes to the next point of men and what type of men there are. What I mean by that is there are men that are generally more masculine. They show off a little bit more. They're a lot more confident. They're a lot more outgoing. They're a lot more, don't worry bro, I got this cuz kind of thing. And that's fine. And then there are other guys who it's alright bro, I don't want to do it. It's okay man, you can do it. Some people who are more humble, shy, this can sometimes be equated to being a little bit more feminine. Now, in my opinion, there's nothing wrong with either type, right? The only advice I could give as a 28-year-old man is for the men who are more masculine, don't turn into bullies. And for the men who are more feminine, don't become weak. Because when you become weak as a feminine man, you get stepped over by everybody, not just other men. You get stepped over by your family, you will get stepped over by the person you think you love, the person you think you can trust. People will walk all over you, right? And we've seen this countless times before when it comes to issues of divorce. Especially these days, divorce is crazy. And for the masculine men who are turning to bullies, that's a very bad path to go down to, because one day or another you're going to become weak. And when you're weak and you've been a bully all your life, the people who are going to come after you first are the ones that you bullied. The ones that you took advantage of are the ones that are going to hunt you down when you have no legs to stand on. And they'll laugh by doing it, right? So I think as men, we need to look after each other and we need to remember our worth, because society doesn't remember the worth of men. Because essentially we are expendable. We're the ones that go to war. We're the ones that have to go out in the cold to go run that fire. We're the ones that have to go out hunting, right? We're the ones that have to provide. Hunting, obviously, now nobody hunts, right? Even the Liver King didn't hunt. The guy shot an antelope, that was caged and domesticated. Liver King. Anyway, coming back to it, what was the point? The point was, for feminine men, don't be weak, and for masculine men, don't be bullies. Because these two extremes of your type of man can hurt you in the long run. Will hurt you in the long run. So that's the type of men. Other part is, obviously now when you're dealing with the opposite gender as a man, it's difficult. It's not always correct, because when you guys are talking with other guys, there's no pressure. I'm not in a competition with you to get your attention, right? I'm not 100% in a competition with you to see myself getting anywhere in life with you as a partner, unless it's a business partner, right? But to find a mate in this world, to find a woman in this world, we're competing not only with the standards of the woman, right? But also all the other guys that are competing for the same chick. That's essentially what we're all fighting for. We're fighting on two fronts. We're fighting on the front of having to impress this chick time and time again, and making sure our impressions are more impressive than the guy before us and coming after us, right? Because if she gave her number to you, she gave her number to other people too. And I'm not out here to call out women. I'm just saying, for the guys pursuing women, because MGTOW, useless. Don't bother with these people. For the men who are pursuing women, it's constantly a game, right? That's why they say hate the game, right? Don't hate the player, hate the game. Because you got to do everything you can to get what you want. Now, I am not of the opinion that you should slay as much as possible. In my opinion, you settle down, you have a family, and you find your happiness within your family. Finding validation from other people outside of your loved ones is a nasty, nasty way to create problems for your loved ones. That's why people jump online and they're like, oh, my online family, I need your support, I need your love and care. And what happens to their real family? They get shunned, they get oppressed, they get attacked. You know, this happens for men and women. You know, you'll hear a woman who's unhappy in her marriage go and complain to the internet, get this false validation for her feelings at the time, at the moment, right? And then it causes trouble and later on leads to divorce. Likewise, for men, they go out to their boys, and if alcohol is involved, it's the worst combination. Alcohol and family issues leads to nothing but abuse, violence, and divorce, honestly, in my opinion. Right? Mixing alcohol with anything is a terrible choice. What was the point? That's right. We cannot seek validation outside of our loved ones, especially for men. Right? I know it's very difficult for us to get compliments anyway. So when our compliments should come with our loved ones, we need to remember them. Right? We need to remember the compliments that made us feel happy to begin with, not the ones that we were seeking from people we don't know, right? Or want to be with. Because, and the cold hard truth is, they were not with you yesterday, and there's a possibility that they're not going to be with you tomorrow. So we need to hold on to the ones that will always be here with us. And sometimes that means taking an L, right? For guys that have issues with their fathers, who always argue with their dads, some guys sometimes just take the L, right? Even if you're in the right and your dad's in the wrong, just say, all right, dad, no worries. And if your dad is the man you think he is, he'll think about it later and come back and apologize. He'll say, son, look, you know, why when we were talking earlier, when we were arguing earlier, I'm sorry, it's on me. Even if he doesn't argue, right, later on the next day, he'll do something to say, it was my mistake, right? He'll buy you lunch, he'll crack a joke, he'll say something to soften the mood, even if he can't say, I'm sorry, bro, you were right. Oh, not bro. Even if he says, even if he can't say, I'm sorry, my son, you know, you were correct yesterday when we were speaking, he will do something to let you know that he was in the wrong. Sometimes, as young men, we need to take the L so we keep the relationship strong. Because you'd rather have your dad in your corner than have no one in your corner, right? Obviously, it's very difficult for people that never knew their fathers, that never had their fathers. But obviously, through time and with strong relationships with the people we have, and then when you become a father and you keep your relationship with your son strong and healthy, we're going to eradicate this problem. Hopefully. I'm not an idealist. I don't believe that things can be changed overnight. I don't believe things can be changed within a certain amount of generations. But hopefully one day, you know, you got to be optimistic about these situations. Another factor of men and the realities of men is that we're all losers, right? To a certain extent, you don't need to worry about yourself as much as you think you do. What I mean by that is sometimes you have to suck it up and say, today's going to be a bad day. And a lot of the time that starts off at the petrol station. I work in demolition. I run my own business. I leave my house a lot of the time 6:30 in the morning. And if I didn't get petrol the day before, I have to run to the petrol station. And it's a bad thing to do. And either the pump's out of gas, out of petrol, right? Or the line is too long, so you say you go to the next one, and when you get to the next one, it's out of service, and you're stuffed, and you want to curse under your breath, but you just have to suck it up, right? Because nobody cares. Nobody really cares, because you are replaceable. Where there is one of you, there is 10,000 of you. That's just the truth. There's 10,000 Adams in the world. There's 10,000 Michaels in the world. There's probably 100 million Muhammads in the world. But, you know what I mean? You don't have to care too much about the little things as much as you do. When the coffee machine is out of service, bro, just turn around and get that bottle of water. get that bottle of water, right? When things are not going good at work, you say, well, I've got to tough it out. Let's go through it as much as possible, and we leave the rest for tomorrow, right? Because when you start to focus on these little things that build up, now it becomes a stress. Oh man, they didn't have this, they didn't have that. You know, my favorite drink was out. The petrol station, the line made me get late to work 10 minutes, right? It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal because these things are going to happen, and there's no guarantee in life that these things won't happen again. So to focus and concentrate on these little problems, the small inconveniences, is a dangerous way to stack up problems that don't exist, right? Obviously, there are times where it irks you, where it's like you had a rough day at work and you want to go stop at the shop and get whatever your favorite thing is, and they don't have it, and you trudged your feet from your car to the store, to the aisle, where they have it all the time when you're not looking for it, and the one time that you're looking for it, they don't have it. I know, it's irksome, it's bothersome. You want to swear, you want to complain. Don't do it. Don't do it, because it's not worth doing, because this is going to happen again, right? You can complain to your boys. You say, bro, the effing store didn't have what I wanted. And your boy will say, that bastard of a store, bro, don't worry, we'll bash up the store employees later on. Don't do that. We don't condone violence in this channel, right? And they will support you. Why? Because it's a fun joke at that point in time. It's not serious anymore. It's already gone. The thing that you put as a priority, the thing that you wanted from the store that they don't have, now that it's no longer a priority, it's something to laugh at, right? In the same way that us men, we have arguments with each other, especially at the workplace. You might swear, you might curse at each other. Within the same day, you guys are cracking your mama jokes. It's not important. So let's review some of the points, right? Men, you have to sometimes come with the approach that you're a bit of a loser, right? We are a bit of a loser, which we are going to work on ourselves. 2, it's not worth complaining about all the small things, right? 3, feminine men, don't be weak. Masculine men, don't be bullies. 4, sometimes you gotta be tough on yourself, so that way you can make it easier for other people. And what I mean by this is, similar to the last point, is you can't complain, because sometimes you have to be the one that is that guy. What I mean by that guy is, you have to be the babysitter, you have to be the carer, you have to be the provider, you have to be... There's no time for yourself. You don't exist. You are a cog in the system of being a man. This alpha male status stuff, it's fun. It's really good. When you're driving in a fancy dancy car, right now I'm driving in a Mitsubishi U. Before this Mitsubishi U, I had a Toyota Orion. The thing was like 220 horsepower, ZR6, so it was like the best one that you could get at the time. Leather seats, electrical seating, all the rest of it, climate, dual, whatever you could think of, the car had. Sunroof. It made you feel like you had a 10-incher, right? But ultimately, it meant nothing, because half the time I was driving my family members where they needed to get to, right? While I thought I was enjoying the car, other people were enjoying it more than me. And that's something you have to kind of understand, is that your happiness, a lot of the time as a man, comes from your ability to facilitate the happiness of other people, right? When I mean other people, I mean your loved ones and the ones that matter to you, right? Not to be a hero, but to be more of an anti-hero. What I mean by this is, to be a hero, to be Spider-Man, to be Superman, you have to give up your loved ones, right? Superman has to give up Lois Lane to protect the world. Spider-Man has to give up his Aunt May, who's somehow getting younger and younger in every movie, to defend the world, right? He loses his uncle, he loses his uncle in order to become the man that the city needs him to be, right? But personally speaking, would you rather have your loved ones alive in this world, or would you rather have a bunch of strangers happy because your loved ones had to die? And so that basically comes down to the end of the discussion. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you did listen, hopefully we can have some good discussions. If you disagree, if you agree, let me know. And be as vocal as you can be. There's no hate here. You know, if you disagree and you strongly disagree, tell me you strongly disagree. Without bringing my mum into it, because I will find you. I don't know how, but I will find you. And let's talk about it, you know? Let's talk about the problems. Let's have a good discussion. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate your time.